So I'm here with Bob Chapman, the CEO of a global company, Barry-Wehmiller. Bob, I'm delighted that we have this conversation today about your company, and particularly about the topic truly human leadership. Something that is incredibly important to learn about for many organizations around the world. So maybe as a start, could you say something about what is your company about?
It's about a 100-year-old company that in the 1980s, I felt that our history did not give us a future because of old technology, and I began doing acquisitions to try and get us into markets with a better potential. So 110 acquisitions later, we're about a $3 billion global company with about 12,000 people. And I think for reference, because we're talking about truly human leadership, I would want to state that our share price has gone up about 14% a year compounded for 25 years. And I make that statement because we're a for-value organization. We're not a non-profit organization. And I believe that creating human value and economic value are in harmony. I think one serves the other.
If you reflect on the company culture that you have built over the years, what makes Barry-Wehmiller so unique?
Well, it starts with kind of our golden rule, the overriding statement in terms of our purpose. And this occurred to me about 14 years ago. Prior to that, we didn't have a statement. We just had a business that we were trying to do well with, and we were doing well financially. But I came to a conclusion one day in thinking about how do I want to think about success in my lifetime, because I was experiencing financial success, and a thought occurred to me. We're going to measure success by the way we touch the lives of people. We touch our customers, we touch our team members, we touch our communities, our suppliers, our bankers, and we need to think about our actions and how that impacts others. So in terms of our culture, that was a profound impact on me to start thinking about people's lives. And as I mentioned to you, I was interviewed by organizational development professors several years ago at Washington University, and after an hour-and-a-half interview, they said to me, "You're the first CEO I've ever talked to that didn't talk about your product." Mm-hmm. And without a hesitation, I said, "We've been talking about our product for the last hour and a half. I will not go to my grave proud of the machines we built. I'll go to my grave proud of the people that built those machines."
What are some of the kind of truly human leadership practices that you have embedded in your organization?
Well, we didn't initially call it truly human leadership. We called it people-centric leadership. Leadership focused on the people we had the privilege of leading. But when we realized that we wanted to have a culture where people felt cared for, we realized that our universities in general don't teach leadership, they teach management, which is a lot of technical skills as opposed to human skills. So we decided to create disciples in our company that cared for people. We decided to teach and start developing content so we could teach leaders how to care for people. And in the process of doing that, we had a clean sheet of paper, which is beautiful. We didn't start with any established pattern. We just said, if we want to convert managers into leaders, how do we do that? And the first thing our team came up with, which I thought at the time didn't make sense, was we needed to teach people empathetic listening. Mm-hmm. I thought as adults we all knew how to listen. Mm-hmm. And my team overrode me, and they developed a 3-day class on empathetic listening, where we learn to listen to people as the greatest act of caring, as the greatest act of leadership. I would say that class has had the most profound impact on our company. We also created a class called Culture of Service, seizing the opportunity to serve others, and we created a class on leadership fundamental. So we decided we needed to teach people how to go from being managers. And I define management as, the word management means the manipulation of others for my success. And leadership means the stewardship of the lives entrusted to us. Looking at those people, we have the privilege to invite an organization as somebody's precious child, knowing that we will have a dramatic impact on their life by the way we go about exercising our leadership. It's about people, purpose, and performance. It starts with our fundamental responsibility to these precious people we invite into our company, around a purpose that inspires them, and then we have to create value. If we are not creating value, we can't be good to our people. So that was a big transformation for me. But again, we had to create a university. We couldn't ask people to be leaders. We had to teach them to be leaders, because universities in general, I was taught, took management classes, got a management degree, and got a job in management. So I thought my job was to manage people. I've now realized in my journey that you can't manage anybody. Okay? Yeah. And nobody wants to be managed. They want to be inspired. They want to be challenged. They want to be recognized. And so we had to shift dramatically and start teaching people how to use those skills. And we were doing this just on an internal basis until people like Simon Sinek, who wrote the book on Finding Your Why, Bill Urey, who negotiates world peace, Amy Cuddy, a famous TED Talk. People started coming in from McKinsey, people like you, and saying, Bob, I've never seen anything like this. You've got to share this with the world. So we realized over time that we had been given a special gift.
And Bob, what kind of advice would you have for business leaders, chief HR officers, but also people are currently getting their MBA, executive MBA program, when it comes to culture, when it comes to caring,
The advice that I would give everybody is, and again, the most transformative thing that happened to me, is when you look at everybody in your organization, not as a function, not as an engineer, an accountant, a salesperson, a production team member, and you look at them as somebody's precious child that has been placed in your organization with their gifts, and your responsibility is to make sure that that individual gets a chance to share their gifts, develop their gifts further, be recognized for their gifts, and return home feeling valued. So when you begin to look at people not as a function for your success, but you look at them as somebody else's child that's been placed in your care, and that the way you treat them while they're in your span of care is going to affect the way they go home and treat their spouse and their children, act in their community, and it's going to affect their health. The Mayo Clinic told us that the person you report to at work is more important to your health than your family doctor. And most importantly, I want your listeners to understand that when we began teaching people to care for each other, 95% of the feedback was about how it affected their marriage and their relationship with their children. So the way we lead our businesses, our organizations, affects the way people live. And I was never taught that. And it was this journey, that was the major awakening. Because I just thought business was business, your personal life was personal life, and never occurred to me that the way I would exercise my responsibility would affect the way people would go home and interact with their family.
Okay, Bob, thank you for the interview. I think amazing insights from many corporations, business leaders, HR leaders, and also the next generation of leaders who will graduate from IE and other universities around the world. So thank you for sharing all of this with us.
Well, I just want all those to know that leadership is a profound responsibility, and it takes skills to care, and it takes courage to care. And we hope you will join us in this movement to create that caring world.
Thank you so much.